Let's practice a question involving percent, fraction, and decimal. These three concepts are kind of connected. So what's 1/2 as a decimal number? We know that 1/2 means half a pizza. So the denominator 2 means how many pieces there are. And 1 out of 2 means you ate half the pizza. It could be a circle, you can even have a rectangle here. You can slice the rectangle in half, and you can say that you ate half the rectangle. Delicious. So as a decimal number, we know that 1/2 is going to be 0.5. You might just know that. But if you really want to use long division, you can. What's 1 divided by... let's try that again. This is a common error, so you have to be really careful. It's the numerator 1 divided by 2. So please do not get confused. I was just about to make a mistake there. Be careful. So the number 1 is very small, and we put a decimal just to the right of it. 2 times what is 1? It doesn't even fit. So 2 times 0, if you really want to do it the inefficient way, 2 times 0 is 0. You can subtract 1 minus 0 is 1. You could drop the hidden ghost, which is a 0. And 2 times what becomes 10? 2 times 5 becomes 10. Subtract, there's no remainder. So as you can see, you can use long division to get the decimal number. So the connection between fractions and decimals is long division. Now how do you convert this decimal number to percent? You have this answer, 0.5. To go to percent, we're going to multiply by 100. So decimal to percent, you're going to multiply by 100. So we're going to start here and go boink boink. When you multiply by 100, you take the decimal place and you move it 2 jumps to the right. So this now becomes 50. So 50% is what this decimal number is. And you probably know that. If you get a quiz mark, 1 out of 2, you just got 50%. Now let's move on to question number 2. Let's convert this percentage to a decimal number. So now we're going the other way around. So students always get confused which way to go. Are we timesing by 100 or dividing by 100? Now be very careful. 0.5 is a small number, but 0.5% is even smaller. To go from percent to decimal, we're going to divide by 100. So percent to a decimal, we're not multiplying by 100, we're dividing by 100. So you might have to practice these kind of numbers. 0.5% is extremely small. So we had 0.5 here, percent. And this decimal 5 here, we're going to go divide by 100, which means 2 jumps to the left. So now the dot is here, and you fill in all these little nice gaps with the circles. So the answer is 0.005. It's very, very small. Now what if there was a baseball player who is hitting 33% of the time? You might look up the stats. It might say 0.33, which is a really, really good batting average. 0.33 is the same thing as 0.330. So this here is the decimal number, and 33% is the percentage, which is a very, very good batting average. So just remember to know which way to go, multiplying or dividing by 100. So we worked very hard to get this decimal answer. And now we're going to focus on getting it to be a reduced fraction. 0.005. How do we get as a fraction? Now remember, this is just a number. Any number is itself divided by 1. Are you allowed to multiply top and bottom by the same number in math? And the answer is yes. Let's multiply by 1,000. So we're going to multiply the top by 1,000 and the bottom by 1,000. When you multiply by 1,000, and why do we choose 1,000? Because there's 3 digits after the decimal. If there's only 2 digits, we'd multiply by 100. Just count the number of zeros. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They match. When you multiply top and bottom by 1,000, we go boink, boink, boink. We now have 5 over 1,000. This is a good fraction, but it's not reduced. Let's simplify. As a fair Texas judge, divide top and bottom by 5. So when you divide 5 divided by 5, it becomes a 1. And when you divide 1,000 by 5, you now get 200. You can verify that 200 times 5 indeed is 1,000. So here's our final answer. It's reduced.